Coverage of the BHRC is brought to you by our TV partners. Hello and welcome to Special Stage. We're here in Dolgelly for round 2 of the Mintex British Historic Rally Championship. Some tricky weather conditions today, but not as bad as last time out, and we had a good start to the season for Jason Pritchard. But Nick Elliott could change all of that. Let's meet some of the drivers and see how they're feeling before the first stage. So Nick, how are you feeling today then after a bit of a bad day in the office last time?
Yeah, wasn't too bad result at the end of the day. So feeling much better myself today. Usual conditions up here, you know, wouldn't have been the same without a good bit of rain last night. And yeah, that's fine, same for everybody. Yeah, looking forward to it, keen. Really need a good result today, need a win really. My man behind is so smooth, fast and consistent that any mistake, as we saw on the red kite, and yeah, it's all over. So maximum attack, get to the finish, but really need a win.
So, really good start to the championship. How are you feeling about today?
Yeah, we'll just see. It's been 5 years since I was last up here, so I'm just going to play it safe and hopefully get round. It's easier said than done, but it's a long championship, so we'll just see what it is after the first couple of stages.
So, good run last round. How are you feeling about today?
Yeah, well, I wanted a dry rally really, but obviously rain, so probably won't be ideal for us, but we're looking forward to it, yeah.
So quite a good run out in round 1. How are you feeling about today?
A wee bit more confident and just looking forward to the day now. The stages should be good. Probably just a wee bit, the rain was hopefully a bit drier, but this will be good to pray for the likes of the marshals and everybody running the rally, but sore on them too, but looking good, feeling good, and looking forward to giving a run. A few changes to the car, so hopefully a good improvement today.
What kind of changes have you made to the car?
I would just change the ratio on the axle and hopefully just trying to get a wee bit more power to the ground basically, and try and get the car to move forward as quick as I can, so that's what it's all about. So hopefully I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but I'll have to try something.
Before we head to the stages, here's a quick and simple reminder of the categories you'll see throughout the show. Category 1, the pre-1968 cars. Typically this is where you'll find the most variety, with minis, Cortinas and a host of unique cars. This category will probably see bigger numbers on the asphalt rounds rather than the gravel. Category 2, following on from the end of Category 1 and up to 1974, home to the Mark I Escorts, but you'll still find a bit of variety in this category as well. Category 3, this is likely where the event winner will come from, with dates just reaching into the 1980s. This is where the Mark II Escort is dominant, but as with the other categories, there's still some variety mixing up the results. As well as those 3 main categories, we have a few other entries, such as Category K, for cars built to FIA Appendix K regulations, but with the similarities to Category 3, we'll keep those 2 together for the purpose of the show. So extremely wet here in Wales.
Very,
what
very
kind
wet,
of tyres are the guys going to be using today?
We're right on the crossover with 2 different compounds we've got available, GM6, GM8. I think Nick Elliott's probably taken the softer compound, Jason's taken a slightly harder compound. But I think the times will probably show that they will probably be very close to each other, just obviously how quickly they get through the tyres. So, but yeah, I think we got it covered on both compounds anyway. But the stages, even though there's a lot of rain, it's quite abrasive and they're quite compact stages. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how when they come in off the first loop, see what it's like, see what the times are saying. So, yeah.
On to the first of the day's stages, and it will be an early lead for Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark. They have a bit of a moment on one of the first corners, which would cause them to back off a little. But over the next couple of stages, they still managed to gain a small but healthy lead of 14 seconds.
And 3 left, long, Max, 40 past lay-by, 1 left, Max, don't cut 40, 1 right, Max, into 1 left, Max, into 3 left, minus long, tightens the third post.
The expected battle between Pritchard and round 1 runners-up Nick Elliott and Dave Price sadly didn't get off to the best of starts, Nick hitting a chicane on the opening stage and unable to get the car started again for around 30 seconds. The next few stages would go a lot better, and they closed that gap to the leader a little more. Joe Price and Chris Brooks come to round 2 off the back of a good result at the opening round. They end this morning's stages with 3rd place for now. A spin and a stall were not helping the times, but thankfully they were not too far back from the lead, and certainly still in the fight going into the next stages. Matt Edwards and Will Rogers bring the cadet out for a run on this weekend's event, an invited drive in the Swiftback car to see how they get on against the Escorts. Things were going well as the pair reached service with times that would have seen them in 4th place, but they wouldn't be scoring points this weekend, so as not to upset any championship battles later in the season. For Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis, it was all about tyres. Disappointed with the run on this morning's stages, a lack of front-end grip being blamed for that. A few scary moments along the way would keep them on their toes and give them something to think about in service before the afternoon stages. Tim Freeman and Paul Williams were having a good run to start the event, steadily building the pace, but that seemed to be the right approach. They end this morning with 5th place in the category and 3rd in their class. Rudy Lancaster and George Gwynn would be one of many suffering with a steamed-up car. The amount of water on the stages meant that plenty was finding its way inside the car. They were struggling with the tyres, wanting to run a softer compound, but the longer road sections and time away from service meant that mediums were the only suitable option. For Sean Rayner and Declan Deer, it will be 7th place in the category, and the pair end this morning with the lead in the D3 class. They certainly didn't have things all their own way though, and that place will be under pressure from the chasing crews. The first of which would be Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons. After a disappointing run last time out, it will be a welcome start to round 2 for the pair, as they lie 2nd in the D3 class and just a single second behind Rayner at this stage. For Simon Webster and Jez Rogers, it will be a few seconds back on the overall category results at this stage. 9th place there and 5th in their class. Things were going well for the pair as they end the morning stages just inside the top 10 in the category. Sadly for Paul Barrett and Di Roberts, it would be a disappointing start to the day. A puncture close to the start of the very first stage would set them back and leave them in 10th place going into service. Certainly wasn't over yet though, with the afternoon still to fight for some of that lost time back. But this setback really wasn't going to help the final result this weekend.
6 left, no, 6 left, tight and slippy.
How far would it go?
We're only 2 or 3 mile in, if that, 9 mile. 6 left tightens. Long in and hairpin left, don't cut. Hairpin left long, don't cut. 60, 5 right in on exit to 3 right plus hook. 3 right plus hook and 1 right plus long.
We've changed it now.
We're going to drop more by changing it, Paul. I know what you're saying. Just got to try and watch the right-handers. Plus crest and 1 right plus long of the trees.
And it will be 22 seconds back in the D3 class in overall for Gareth Lewis and Mark Crisp. The pair lying 4th in the class at this stage in the event, and in 11th overall, they would surely be looking to push that into the top 10 result in the afternoon stages. The first stage will be the one that Malcolm Rich and Ewan Jones find the hardest, maybe due to the conditions or just getting used to the stages. They do pick up the pace a little more as the stages go on and end the morning with 3rd in the class. Rex Island and Adrian Scadding lie a little way back from the D3 class fight, taking 5th in the class at this stage but just over a minute back in that place, as well as lying 17th in the category. For Tim Coftree and Simon Rogers, it will be 20th in the category. The pair were a little way back in the F2 class fight, 4th in that class for now. And for Dave Hopkins and Tony Vart, it will be a battle just to get here. Engine problems on the last round resulting in damage to not one but 2 engines. But this weekend there were none of those problems so far. The only runner in the D1 class, so the lead in that was theirs. And rounding out the category results were Peter Jones and Graham Joseph, 24th place and 5th in the F2 class. So at the end of the morning stages in the RSR Historic Engineering Category 3, it's drama already for Nick Elliott in his attempt to turn around his round 1 misfortunes, but the event was far from over yet. Coverage of the BHRC is brought to you by our TV partners. Coverage of the BHRC is brought to you by our TV partners. So talk me through the first 3 stages then.
Yeah, it's, as you can see, it's raining, it's horrible weather, and it's been dry, so it's very slippy. The very first corner, it was a bit of a moment with it just went sideways. So from there on, it was just try and keep it straight, and that's what we've done. And it's not the quickest way, but it might be the quickest way. So we'll see. We had one issue that Nick hit the chicane in front of us. He had a problem there, and then because the marshals didn't have time to put it back, we couldn't get through. So we had to stop and get through eventually, but we hit the wheel trying to get through because it wasn't enough gap. But there you are, it's rallying.
Nick, you were so optimistic at the beginning of the day. What's happened?
As always, first stage disaster. Hit the second artificial chicane, which is a big straw bale. Thumped it head on. And we had the same problem as the red kite car had stalled, obviously hitting that and wouldn't restart. And we were there for 30 seconds trying to get it to go. I didn't think it was going to go. I thought that was game over. But eventually it just, got turning over and fired up. But probably the mistake that cost us the rally again on stage 1. But we pulled back a little bit. We're behind Jason, but he's so smooth and consistent. And in the afternoon, he really picks up his pace. So it's going to be damage limitation really. But we do what we can. It could be worse. We're still in it. There's still points to get, and it's early in the season, so we keep going.
So halfway through the day, how's things going?
It's gone all right. We're here, which is the main thing. We're probably 15 down on what we should have been. We've had quite a big spin in the last stage and dropped a lot, and we stalled in the first stage. But we're glad just to get here, really. So we'll have a cleaner afternoon, hopefully.
So first 3 stages down, 3 more to go. How are you feeling?
Disappointed.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I haven't got a good feeling on the front end, on the tyres. The back, the Pirellis the softs are working mint on the back, but to turn in on the front, we could do with something softer really. And we've pretty much understeered all the way around, and we scared ourselves a bit and nearly crashed and came out of there disappointed, but we've cheered up a bit now.
So not the greatest of starts, was it?
We could say that. But of a change from what I was chatting last, but just a flat wheel. Got a flat wheel just about 1.5 miles on the first stage. We struggled on, knew hadn't time to change it, but just had to make the best of what we had, But the last 2 stages there were coming on, we're about running in, about third quickest overall. So happy enough. Just the rest of the day now, try and keep punching in and try and pull back up, So going forward, but this lovely weather. You've the umbrella, I don't. But so we've got wet change now. That's good, but we'll just keep going and looking forward to get back out now in a nice, good, sharp 3.
Yeah. Well, they were kind of the warm-up stages. This is where you need to really make up that time.
Well, that's my intentions now.
Yeah, good. Category 2 winners from round 1, Stanley Orr and Guy Weaver, reached service in the leading position, but there was a little bit of work to be done. They had damaged the suspension a little on a rock in the stage and were changing it, ready for the afternoon. The The lead in the category, though, hadn't always been theirs. That honour would actually have gone to Adam Milner and Roy Jarvis. They led the way after the first 2 stages, but sadly put the car off on stage 3 and put an end to what was looking like a giant killing performance, and one that gets him the Spirit of the Rally award for his efforts. Back to the results though, and it will be second in the category for Simon Tyso and Paul Morris, enjoying the stages and the conditions to reach this stage with the lead in the class as well. The afternoon would be about keeping a good pace and not pushing and ending up with any silly mistakes. A small spin in the opening stage wouldn't be doing the times any favours for Phil Jobson and Arwell Jenkins. They do, however, lie third in the category for now and second in the C4 class. Warren Philliskirk and Nigel Hutchinson would be keen to make sure they finish the event this time after going off on the final stage at round 1. So far, things were going well, and the pair end the morning with 4th in the category and 2nd in the C3 class. No problems in this morning's loop for Mark Tugwell and Steve Pugh. They reached service with 3rd in the C4 class as well as 5th in the category. Some new tyres for the afternoon will be all the changes they plan to make. Change to the car between round 1 and 2 would seem to have all gone okay for Elliot Rettelick and Tim Tugwell. They were enjoying the stages now, and they were getting used to the car a little more and enjoying the challenge of the slippery conditions, evening out the power advantages throughout the category too. There will be a little drama for Aziz Tejpar and Justin Williams. A vibration on the car as they left stage 3 would cause a little worry, but the team would be straight on it in service trying to find out the issue. For now, it will be 7th place in the category. And it will be another 26 seconds back in the class and overall results to Ian Ricks and Steve Greenhill, 5th place in the class at this stage and in 8th place in the category. And rounding out the Category 2 results were Stuart and Linda Carris. They felt they could probably have gone quicker in there, but the plan for the afternoon was to enjoy themselves and stay at a pace they were comfortable with. So Stanley Orr leads the way in the Capita Construction Category 2 after the loss of Adam Milner, and there were plenty of close battles throughout the leaderboard going into the afternoon stages. So pretty slippy out there, I hear.
It is, yeah. Well, slippy for everybody, I suppose, but the stages are actually very good, and the first one of them very good condition too, so hopefully like that one will go back again, but yeah, it's been very good.
Yeah, are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it definitely makes it worthwhile, the boat trip to come here and do that. So it does, yeah.
How's the car this morning?
It's been good. I think we've damaged the shock absorber. They're in the middle of changing shock absorbers here. I think we damaged it towards the end of the last stage, we had a big rock, and so we're just, as precaution, changing them.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it's working very well.
Okay, so tell me about the first 3 stages today then.
Yeah, really good. We were sort of steady through them as we were trying to be, not really pushing, but they all seemed to flow. They were good. The last stage was brilliant, really enjoyed it, and absolutely fantastic.
So 3 down, how have things been going?
Ace, yeah, loving it.
Are you?
Stalled it twice in the first stage, just being stupid really. I couldn't make up my mind between first or second gear. Getting to know the car a bit better, so carrying a bit more speed into them and on getting away with second or sneaking it down to first, but it's really good.
Do you think you're getting used to it a little bit more, maybe feeling a bit more comfortable in the final 3 stages?
Yeah, we've played about between the last event and this one with the handling of the car a little bit, and it's a lot more progressive, so I can communicate with it better, loving it.
Which is what you need in this weather, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I like it slippy because we can all only get the same amount of grip, but we haven't got a lot of power, so it just evens it out a little bit. So slippery is better.
Good. So first time out on these stages, how are you finding them this morning?
Really nice. They're very quick though, so you just have to get used to these sort of levels on the gradings of the turns, but otherwise it's great.
Yeah, quite slippy as well, I can imagine.
It's very slippy, yeah. very slippy, and in some the hairpins are really tight.
Yeah.
But I love those. They're brilliant.
Like an adrenaline junkie.
Oh, I am today. This is for me today.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it giving it. You know.
Yeah. Looks like you're having a bit of a problem though with your car.
We just had a little bit of a vibration, and the steering pulled to the right when I came out of the last stage.
Yeah.
So we just make sure that the wheel bearings are nice and tight.
Good.
I don't want it to fall over now.
No. In Category 1, everything would be going well for Round 1 category winners Bob and Dale Gibbons. With nothing more than a tyre change needed in service, things were running as they should. The pair open up a good advantage in the lead of the category and have their eyes set on win number 2. Once again, their fight would be with Bob Bean and Malcolm Smithson, second place in the category going into service, but with a steering problem showing itself on the road section back to service, that would need some investigation before the remaining stages. And rounding out the category and leading the way in the B1 class were Phil Harris and Graham Wild. It had been many years since he'd driven the stages, but they didn't seem to be causing any problems at this stage.
And 1 left in, 2 right again. Don't cut on the 2 right. Into 2 left long, opens into 6 left. Well done, well driven. 40, 3 left in. 40, 4 left. 40, 5 left long past lay-by. 80. 5 left braking into square right, don't cut. 100 up mid.
So with 3 stages complete in the Vintage Car Radiator Company Category 1, it's the lead for Round 1 category winner Bob Gibbons, but anything could change in the second half of the day. You got a plan for the last 3? Same again?
A plan for the last 3. The plan for the last 3 is to finish them, obviously, and stay on the road. Just to stay clean and as quick as we can, really. So, going to change a couple of tyres and do a few little bits, and then, fingers crossed.
Best of luck.
Lovely, thanks very much.
So, just this second got back from stage 3, and I heard you get out of the car and shout the word problem. What's going on?
There's some problem with the steering, which is when you want to go right, it's trying to go left, which is a bit difficult, as you can appreciate.
When did this happen?
I would say probably in the last stage. It seemed okay before, but you don't really feel it, when you've got a crash out of them, and of course it's jumping about all the time. So, but it was on the road really that we noticed it.
Yeah. So how's the Mini holding up on the stages this morning?
Yeah, fantastic. It's very slippy underfoot. Yeah. Obviously had a lot of rain overnight and through this morning, but it really suits the car because it's got a lot of grip on the front wheels. Yeah. So yeah, we've been going well this morning.
Good. Are you enjoying it?
Oh yeah, loving it. Yeah, some good stages, classic stages, and not as rough as we expected them to be. Actually, they've held up really well despite the wet weather.
Yeah. Coverage of the BHRC is brought to you by our TV partners. So we thought that the conditions weren't quite as bad as round 1, but they've still managed to catch a few people out on the stages this morning. Doesn't look as though it's going to be drying up anytime soon, so let's head out to the stages to have a look at the final 3. On to the afternoon stages, and there will be no change to the lead in Category 3 and the event overall as Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark maintained the number 1 position, but the advantage was now down to 8 seconds. Nick Elliott and Dave Price had managed to pull back some of the lost time over these couple of stages, closing the gap to the lead now and meaning that they head into the final stage still within grasp of the win. An outside chance, but a chance nonetheless.
And left 6 continues for 100 and tightens into left 5 into Duncat right 2. Duncat right 2. 80, Duncat right 5, 60. Duncat right 5, 60. Right 4 tightens into right 3 long and over bumps. Right 3 long, over bumps. 60. And tight left 4 long. Tight left 4 long. And 40. Tight left 4 again. Tight left 4 again. Into don't cut right 4. Left 5. Left 5. 40. Right 5. 40. Square right. 40 square right. And 60. And flat right 40. And don't cut right 6. 130.
No change for Joe Price and Chris Brooks in this loop. They managed to hold on to third, slipping away from the top 2 a little, but extending the advantage in that place for themselves. Going into the final stage, it was looking like this would be where they finish, as long as there were no problems, of course. Sadly for Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis, the car still wasn't up to speed compared to what they could have been in the Escort. But with many years of development behind the Escort and the Fiat in its early stages, 4th place was a fantastic position to be in, and of course fantastic to see the car competing in the top of the results. There wouldn't be any change for Matt Edwards and Will Rogers, the time still meaning they would have been in 4th place, a good shakedown for the Swift Cadet. After this morning's puncture, things were looking better for Paul Barrett and Di Roberts. They put in some good times in these stages to move up the results into 5th place now, and with it they take the lead in the D3 class. No change for Rudy Lancaster and George Gwynn in these stages. They continue to hold 6th in the category now and 3rd in the class, and with just 3 seconds between them and Barrett ahead. Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons were also increasing the pace in the afternoon stages. The points will be welcomed after a disappointing round 1. For now it will be 7th place in the category and 2nd in the D3 class. Some of the reason for that would be problems for Sean Rayner and Declan Deer. They get caught out in stage 5 with some standing water and are lucky to get away without more damage. They continue but still have one more stage to get through before the finish.
Yeah, the puddle just lost it, it's alright. So, 61.
Gareth Lewis and Mark Crisp gain a couple of places in the category in these stages as they move up to take 9th place overall now. 29 seconds behind Rayner on the results for both the category and the class, 4th in the D3 class at this stage. And it would be a similar story now for Malcolm Rich and Ewan Jones, who gained some time in this loop to move up to 10th, remaining behind Lewis, the gap closing from 24 seconds to 19 seconds. Barry Stevenson-Wheeler and John Pickavance enjoy a better afternoon so far and move their way up to 11th in the category and take up 4th place in their class. They had a lot of other events planned in the coming weeks, so they were cautious of the balance between a push and a finish without incident. Change a little further down the class too, as Guy Anderson and Stephen Davey end this loop with 4th in the class, moving their way up the results in the Sunbeam to take up 12th in the category as well, just 8 seconds back from Stevenson-Wheeler ahead. Not much would change in this loop for Rex Island and Adrian Scadding, 5th in the class at this stage and 15th overall. The fact that things remained as they were wasn't a bad thing. They were at least still going and ready to pick up some points if they make it through the last stage okay. And there will be much of the same story in the rest of the places in the category. Tim Coventry and Simon Rogers, 4th in the F2 class at this stage and 18th overall. No problems for Dave Hopkins and Tony Vart. They of course remain the sole D1 class runners, but their focus would be on getting to the finish with the engine still in one piece. And Pete Jones and Graham Joseph continue to round out the results, gaining a few places overall in the category results but remaining 5th in that F2 class for now. So with one more stage remaining in the RSR Historic Engineering Category 3, the results at the top change a little, but it was all still to play for. With the suspension repaired and things feeling a lot better, it will be back out and no change in the lead for Stanley Orr and Guy Weaver. They continue to lead the category and the class by a small amount. The gap had increased slightly, but not by much. Simon Tyso and Paul Morris just 2 seconds slower than Orr on these two stages and maintaining second in the category. They do still lead the way in the class with just the final stage remaining. And no change for Phil Jobson and Arwell Jenkins in here either, as they keep hold of that final podium place in the category and second in the class, although the gap to the leading pair was growing as the stages went on. A set of new tyres seemed to do the trick for Mark Tugwell and Steve Pugh and ensures they keep the car on the road through these two stages and pick up 4th place, 43 seconds back from the podium places at this stage. Warren Philliskirk and Nigel Hutchinson dropped back to 5th in the category, but they were just looking for a finish this weekend. Putting the car off on the final stage last time out will be playing on their mind going into the final stage here at round 2. No change for Elliot Rettelick and Tim Tugwell. They continued to lead the way in the class and from 6th overall in the category. They were just a single second back from Philliskirk ahead though, so it could go either way on the final stage. With the problems all fixed in service, it will be a good afternoon for Aziz Tejpar and Yestin Williams. They remain at a good steady pace to end this loop, with 7th in the category still and 4th in the class. Stuart and Linda Carris do as they suggested for the afternoon stages and take things nice and steady. They do, however, manage to end this loop with a place gained in 8th overall, which means that for Ian Ricks and Steve Greenhill it would be a drop down to 9th. The times were still close, just 6 seconds between them and Carris going into the final stage. So with one more stage to go, the Capital Construction Category 2 results change a little, but it's still the lead for Stanley Orr with the final miles remaining. In Category 1, there wouldn't be much change apart from the times. Bob and Dale Gibbons continued to lead the way there and take a step closer to making it 2 wins from 2. With the car back out and feeling better, it would still be second place for Bob Bean and Malcolm Smithson. The pair were unable to catch Gibbons, but they would be looking to make sure there was no repeat of the final stage non-finish from round 1. And rounding out the category were Phil Harris and Graham Wild. The stage is standing up well to the double use and the Mini having no problems getting round with some good times. 3rd in the category still at this stage. So with just one stage remaining in the Vintage Car Radiator Company Category 1, the results look like this. On to the final stage then, and there will be no change in Category 1. Phil Harris and Graham Wild end the event with 3rd in the category, which also nets them a class win, despite the unscheduled trip into the scenery.
6 right, 150, come on, it's flat mate, 150, 6 left, and 5 right, 80 braking, so this is still 5 right, 80 braking, hairpin right at trees ahead, don't cut. 40, that's it, well done. 5 right, whoa! Bloody hell, that was fuck.
For Bob Bean and Malcolm Smithson, it would be 2nd. They get through the final stage, which is more than they could at round 1, and they get some good points on the board here at round 2. But that means that it's the category win for Bob and Dale Gibbons. The lead was theirs all day, and a faultless drive from the pair means they end the weekend with some good points to take to the Pirelli. Before we chat to our Vintage Car Radiator Company Category 1 winner, here's a reminder of the final results.
So Bob, 2 out of 2. Well done. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling very good actually. Good event here in North Wales. A little bit smoother than the Red Kite. Yeah, car went well. Bob Bean gave us a good run from Mini. Yeah, it was good. Dale was extremely good on his notes. looked at the DVD for some time, and he practiced his notes, and he was very, 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 very good on the notes. So I'm a little bit quicker again. So yeah, the car went well, and the crew, the service crew were very good, and everything gone really well. Thank you.
Bob might be catching you up for next time, maybe for that Cat 1 win.
Mr. Bean, you mean?
Mr. Bean, of
course. I guess he will, actually. Yeah. Bob's a bit of a dark old horse. He came into our crew and asked for a few bits for his car, so we helped him repair his car because, we want him to finish. And he's a great guy. He's a legend in my eyes. So to be able to beat Mr. Bean is just something special for me. So good.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Coverage of the BHRC is brought to you by our TV partners. In Category 2, there would be nothing that Ian Ricks and Steve Greenhill could do at the final stage. They have to settle for 9th place this weekend. The steady run to the finish paid off for Stuart and Linda Carris as they take 8th at the end of the event as well as 2nd in their class. The repairs last and the confidence remains for Aziz Tejpar and Yeston Williams as they get through the final stage to bring the Escort home in one piece and in 7th place in the category. Sadly for Warren Philliskirk and Nigel Hutchinson, it would be a last-minute drop to 6th place in this final stage, unable to hold off the advances from behind on the results, but they do get to the finish and with 2nd in their class. So that means for Elliot Rettelick and Tim Tugwell, it would be a move to 5th place in the final stage, and with that they do take a well-deserved class win. Conditions on the stages this weekend evening out the power and meaning they could challenge for those overall places too. And in fact the battle will be close between the Avenger pair and 4th place Mark Tugwell and Steve Pugh. The difference at the finish would be just 6 seconds, a good close battle to end round 2. As for the podium, well, there wouldn't be much change there. The good run all day continued into the final stage for Phil Jobson and Arwell Jenkins as they round out the podium in the category at the finish, as well as 2nd in the class. First in that class and taking the runner-up spot were Simon Tyso and Paul Morris. It will be a close finish at the top of the category, the pair missing out on the win by just 6 seconds. But that would mean that it's win number 2 in as many rounds for Stanley Orr and Guy Weaver. The scare midway through with the broken suspension didn't seem to affect the times, and the pair take a well-deserved victory. So before we chat to our winner, here's a reminder of the final results in the Capital Construction Category 2.
So, Stanley, great result for you again here today. How are you feeling about it?
Very pleased, very pleased. Super stages, really enjoyed it and caught up a bit the second run over them, but overall very good.
Do you think you just needed that first set to get you back used to it, make you feel a bit more comfortable, and then you could really go for it in the second lot?
We did. Well, actually, we actually went slower in the second stages. We broke a shock absorber in the first run, and we ended up putting harder shock absorbers in for the second run, and it affected it. Whether that was the whole reason or not, I don't know, but we were actually slower on the last 3 stages, but we held on well enough to win the category, and happy enough.
You and Guy making quite the partnership, aren't you?
Yeah, it's working quite well, and he's been used to winning. I think he wants to continue.
You've got to keep up.
We'll have to try and keep up, yeah.
Congratulations, we'll see you at Pirelli.
Thank you very much, thank you.
On to Category 3 in the overall results, and it would still be 5th place in the F2 class for Peter Jones and Graham Joseph as they round out the results. Dave Hopkins and Tony Vart get the finish they were looking for, and with the engine in one piece, reaching the end of the event with that D1 class win too. No change for Tim Coftree and Simon Rogers as they get to the end of the event with 4th in the F2 class and 18th in the category. Rex Ireland and Adrian Scadding continue their steady run to the finish to hold on to that 5th place in Class D3 and 15th overall. And it would be 12th place in the category for Guy Anderson and Stephen Davey, who finished the event with 5th in class. Gary Stevenson-Wheeler and John Pickavants just missed out on the top 10 with their 11th place, beating Anderson in the class by just 8 seconds. Onto that top 10 then, and it will be 10th place for Malcolm Rich and Ewan Jones, the pair also taking 3rd place in the F2 class with this result. Gareth Lewis and Mark Crisp end the event with 9th. They reached the finish with 4th place in the D3 class as well. Sean Rayner and Declan Deer finished just above Lewis in the class and overall, with 3rd in the class and 8th in the category, the car lasting to the finish after its brief trip into the scenery on the previous stage. Sadly, problems in the final stage for Joe Price and Chris Brooks mean that it's a drop down to 7th in the category, not the end they wanted to the podium run that was looking likely for the pair. Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons put the round 1 issues behind them to score some good points here this weekend, with 6th place overall and 2nd in the D3 class, 40 seconds ahead of Rayner. For Rudy Lancaster and George Gwynn, it would be a good consistent day that sees them reach the finish with 5th overall and 2nd in the class. Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis would still be unable to break into the podium places just yet, but it could only be a matter of time. 4th place for the pair this weekend and taking 2nd in the class. And for Matt Edwards and Will Rogers in the cadet, it would have been a podium place in the championship. This weekend's guest drive showing what can be done to mix with the escorts. Paul Barrett and Di Roberts put in a great performance all day to overcome the problems from the puncture on stage 1 and record a podium finish here at round 2. We would never know if the result could have been better without the puncture, but they remain ones to watch as the season goes on.
6 net plus in, 6 net plus in, and 3 right plus hook, and 3 left plus, opens very long, into 4 right plus hook, into 4 right plus hook, and 2 left okay, 40 slow in, square left, 40 slow in, square left plus in, here's your square, then 4 right plus, and middle of a plus crest, and down 4 left plus cut, 4 left plus cut, 6 left in okay, 6 left in okay here, and then 4 left plus in, go on, 4 left plus, opens, plus, keep left of the big crest, 400 down. Okay, good man. I enjoyed that. Hey?
Sadly for Nick Elliott and Dave Price, there was once again nothing they could do to repair the damage done on stage 1. They end the event with 2nd place, 21 seconds from the lead. May not be the win, but this does keep them right in the mix for the championship with such a long way to go yet. But that of course means that it would be the win once again for Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark. They came here as champions and the ones to beat, and this season they were confirming that. But it would surely make others around them more determined to take the title from them by the end of the season.
Into middle crest, in down 4 left, and 6 left plus, into 4 left long, opens fast, Earth Junction, middle over crest, 400 down, and okay, you're through, well done. Cheers Phil, well driven. Oh mate, well driven.
So before we chat to the winners, here's a reminder of the final results in the RSR Historic Engineering Category 3.
So Jason, just starting this year as you mean to go on, congratulations, another win in the bag.
Yeah, it's another good points. That's what we came here for. I'm a bit surprised to get the win, you know. Nick made a mistake on the first one, but, you know, we were held up with the same thing with the chicane. But, you know, it went down to the last stage. There was only 4 seconds in it, so we had a good push. But a mile in, I thought I had a puncture, but we just kept our heads down and kept going and just, we had a good time.
Yeah.
And
Why did you not expect to get the win?
Just because I haven't been up here for so long, and Nick's done it the last few years, and he is a gravel expert, you know, there's no doubt about that, so it's always tough to beat him. But, you know, it's nice now that we can compete with him on gravel, and we've beaten him twice now.
Yeah. Are you on for 3rd time lucky as well?
I'm aiming for the championship, so you don't win anything being in the ditch, so we'll just keep going as we are. It seems to work.
Well done.
Cheers.
Nick, 2nd place, which is brilliant, but I'm a little bit disappointed for you. Are you feeling it?
I'm a little bit disappointed, yeah. I thought after the first stage, I didn't think the car was going to start at all. I thought that was it. Before we know it, Jason's going to be behind us, we'd be getting out, that'd be game over. So that considered 2nd, 15 seconds down, on him. We did claw back quite a bit. He flew through the last stage, had a couple of little problems, and we got to the end of the stage and our magical starter motor caught fire, so maybe that's the problem that we've been suffering with. But fair play to Jason, gave us the push, got us going, so and got us back to the finish. But so yeah, second, not the end of the world, still good points. Second in the event as well, which is great, beating some of these moderns. So yeah, we're pleased, a little bit disappointed, but you know, there's still a long way to go.
So with 2 rounds complete, we start to see the championship points taking shape. Jason Pritchard leads the way with Nick Elliott close behind. Paul Barrett recovers from his problems to lie in 4th, and Stanley Orr leads the way in the category with 6th place overall. Bob Gibbons and Phil Harris lie just outside the top 10 in the points with 12th and 13th overall.
So Jason Pritchard adds another win to his championship tally. Nick Elliott unfortunately having a few problems but still managing to get 2nd place. Next up we're heading north to Pirelli in Carlisle and we'll see you there.
Coverage of the BHRC is brought to you by our TV partners.